Well, good day. I just thought I would do a review of this small 2-cycle Harbor Freight Stormcat generator, 900 peak watts, 800 running watts. I'm going to unbox it, get it set up, show you some steps to go through to make sure it's going to run smooth right out of the gate. I do a lot of work with 2-stroke motors, and this is just the newest one I'm adding. So let's go ahead and get it opened up. Gotta love that Chinese cardboard. It just sort of breaks when you bend it back. Owner's manual. Very important instructions in there. You'll want to read it, especially about the break-in period. Okay, I lifted it out just by grabbing it by the edges of the top of the gas tank. So let's go ahead. On this side we have the spark plug wire, cylinder, muffler. Plenty of warning labels. I'm going to go ahead and take the rest of the plastic off. Okay, and then it comes with a small toolkit and a handle. So I'm going to go ahead and put the handle on. For that you need a Phillips screwdriver. Okay, I've got the handle mounted on top of the generator now. It had some insulators that go on top of the gas tank, and then the handle goes on top of those, and then it came with 2 machine screws to go down through the handle to attach it to the top of the gas tank. So that's done now. So here what I'm going to do is remove the spark plug wire, and then I'm going to remove the factory spark plug, and it'll be using a 13/16 socket. Usually just have to break the seal, and we could get it out the rest of the way by hand. And this one is a Torch F7TC. But I'm actually going to go ahead and replace that with an Ngk plug. I have an Ngk BPR6ES. So it's a resistor plug, but it's the right heat range for a replacement here. But first I'm going to put in a little Seafoam. Got my trusty funnel here. First I'm going to put in a little 2-stroke oil. I'll just put in a little shot of this. And then I'm going to put in a little shot of the Seafoam. And that'll help dilute that 2-stroke oil and also move it around the crankcase a little bit, just a drop or two. Okay, and now that that's done, you could bet that it's going to smoke on startup, but I just want to make sure it has some good lubrication. Set this funnel down, and I'm going to grab the starter and we're just going to pull it a few times. Ooh, there goes the oil. That was pretty amazing. So that should be pretty well lubed. I've got that oil cleaned up a little bit, and again, I put in the 2-stroke oil and a little bit of Seafoam just to get everything lubricated, because as you start to pull these 2-strokes when they're brand new, there's really nothing in the crankcase when you get going, so I just wanted to make sure the crankshaft and crank bearings were lubed okay. Alright. Okay, so now I'm going to put in the Ngk Spark Plug. It was this BPR 6ES. I always get it hand started in the threads. and then we'll use our socket wrench and just snug it up. There is a gasket on it, so you don't need to overdo it. Okay, that's plenty snug. Then we're going to put the cap back on here. And I'm going to have to get a little screwdriver and try to turn it, because it's just a spring in there and you got to get it evenly over that terminal. Okay, there we go, that's even. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it around. We're going to add some fuel to it. Put my spill of the gasoline. And then on the front here, it has an on-off switch, it has a circuit breaker, and then it also has a choke. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and choke it all the way. Turn on the switch so it will start, and then we're going to turn on the gas valve. There's a fuel valve right here marked on when it's horizontal, or excuse me, off when it's horizontal, and on when it's vertical. This is a very simple gravity feed system, so you got to wait for that fuel to go in there, fill that carburetor. And in my oil, I'm a big fan of the Mystik brand, or in the gasoline mix. I've always had great luck using this Mystik 2-cycle synthetic blend lawn and garden oil. I use it in my air-cooled snowmobile motors, my chainsaws, and now we're going to use it in this generator. But I've had great luck with this Mystik brand 2-stroke lube. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make sure it's switched on. The choke is on, and I fully expect this motor to smoke a bit since I put in that raw 2-stroke motor into the cylinder. So let's see if we can get it started. It is running. Oh, it's choked out. It wasn't quite warm yet. Let's try it again. Okay, the generator's been running for about 3 minutes now. A lot of the smoke has burned off, a lot of the excess oil. So I'm going to try this 300 watt light. Now it's under a load. You can hear how the motor RPM changed. You can see it's lighting up this light just fine. And there's pretty elaborate break-in requirements in the owner's manual, so you should be sure to read those and make sure you break in the generator as they specify. Okay, I just want to give you a little feedback on this generator here. I got it started as you saw earlier, and I played with it for about an hour. Plugged in different kinds of loads, television sets, trouble lights, utility lights, computer monitors, and the governor inside here would make the RPMs go up and down to keep up with the load, and it seems to run well. The suggestion or the tip I'd give to you right now is, number one, always turn off the gas valve and let it run out of gas at the end of every use. That'll keep the carburetor dry, that'll keep the seals and gaskets inside the carburetor from swelling, and that's a real good suggestion for any two-stroke motor. Always store them dry. It won't take that long to refill that carburetor once you turn the gas on again to start it the following day or whatever. But just when you put them away, store the carburetor dry. And you do that by turning off the gas valve while the generator's running, and then it'll gradually run out of gas. Okay. Second tip I have is always use pure premium gas. That's gasoline without any ethanol in it. Here we're in the upper Midwest. Our fuels are blended with ethanol, varying percents, but there are several dealers that just sell pure premium gasoline. That is always best for two-stroke motors. So go ahead and find a gas station or an outlet that has pure premium, and then pre-mix your gas 50 to 1 in a gas can, and then you'll be good to go with that. You may want to add maybe 2 ounces per gallon of pre-mixed gas of Seafoam. So 2 ounces per gallon of Seafoam will help keep that gas from breaking down so quickly. It's a good product. But if you use gas quickly, like within 30 days, there's really no need for that Seafoam, but it's a good product. And again, I am pleased that I pre-lubed the cylinder by putting in some two-stroke oil and by putting in some Seafoam. That seemed to lubricate the internals pretty good. It was very smoky on startup, and it took a matter of minutes, probably 3 or 4 minutes, for all that excess oil to burn off. But at least I know that the internals were lubricated before I started pulling on it. Another tip for you is, on the recoil starter, wait till it engages to a stop before you pull on it. There's some plastic parts in the recoil starter. They can wear out after a while, so just make sure that when you pick up that rope, you find where it engages before you give it your brisk pull. And the pulls don't need to be long, they just need to be brisk. Just get that motor turning. But all in all, I think it's a reasonable generator for $89, and it's the year 2016, so I just got it. But that was using a Harbor Freight coupon. I'm confident that it will run a new modern Energy Star refrigerator. They have very small motors in them, and they have a very low draw to start. So I think if there was a power outage, you could carry this or run a cord to an Energy Star refrigerator and plug it in and let it run for 2 or 3 hours. Unplug it, go to the next freezer or refrigerator you own, plug that in for 2 or 3 hours. That way you keep some cooling in there. But again, I think it's a reasonable generator. We'll give you a follow-up if necessary, but otherwise it seems to run well.